Hello everyone, and welcome back to Expertise Time Series Analysis in Healthcare, a step-by-step guide for healthcare researchers. My name is Dr. Jared Nelms. I will be walking you through some of this bonus material. As you know, there are two student-guided exercises as part of this course. They are major components of the course. I will be following this video up with two other videos that will walk you through the exercises. But to get started, I just wanted to show you how to set everything up and get your analysis underway and so forth using SAS University. Now, and I might get a trippy effect here with the recording software, but in order to use SAS University, you have to download a virtual machine. Now, the virtual machine that I use is called VirtualBox. It's created by Oracle. You can download it through the VirtualBox website. The icon looks like the one I'm clicking on here in the bottom. And what VirtualBox does is it houses a virtual version of the SAS software. Now in this case it's a condensed version of the SAS software. It can only handle a certain amount of memory and so forth. But it's enough to do what we need to do with this course and quite frankly many other analyses. The SAS University software, it's been my experience, can handle several millions of observations and data sets that are hundreds of observations off to the hundreds of columns off to the right. So we're looking at a very capable software application. Let me shut that down here. Just the real world. We're always communicating with people. All right, now when you use SAS University, how does it work? What we do is we load a virtual machine in, and that's in your step-by-step guide, your instructions for that SAS will give you on their website. You load this one of the versions, of SAS University in. I want to point out to you, in order to make this work correctly, you should go into Settings on whatever the virtual machine of your choice is, whatever SAS University version you put in. And you probably have more memory than the base memory is for the system. Go in to click on the orange gear, Settings, and then click on System. And what I want you to do for this analysis and this course is to move your base memory to where it is bordering on the orange. Now, you will not be able to move it into orange or red, but you can move right up to the green line you can see right here. Now what this does is it allows your computer to use more of the memory that's on your machine in order to process the data sets. Now what this does is it allows you to not have to sit in front of your computer for an hour to try to process the data that we use for this time series analysis. We'll be using a large data set. It is as few columns as I could possibly make it, but nonetheless, in order to maintain some authenticity, it is quite a large data set. Now, once you have that done, I want to show you another aspect here. I'm trying to avoid the trippy effects as much as I can. Something very important for you to do here is you want to create a folder on your desktop that's called SAS University. Okay, and I have a bunch of analyses in here, but for this case, just whichever name you want, but you have to create a folder that's called that's something that you can reference. I call this folder for this course project. Now within that folder you need to place the coding syntax for each part of the exercises. Here I've placed my coding syntax for part 1 and for part 2 through 3. The syntax files are very small, but you can see the analysis file is very large, 926 megabytes. It's because we're going to get into about 6 million observations. So that's how you get the data housing and the file housing set up in SAS University. Create a folder on your desktop called SAS University Edition, just the way I have it right here, all together. And then you'll be able to call that as My Folders. Okay, so once you have all that done, you want to select the version of SAS that you're going to use, and it'll bring up this black box and it'll boot your device. And you wait. You get a pretty little box with a spinning infinity sign. We'll let that go there for a second. And I think this is excuse me, very important, because a lot of people who get into doing these analyses or who try to use open source software applications, especially when it gets to those that analyze data and work with statistics. One thing that we get into is a lot of people get confused when it comes to how to actually install these software applications, and that's exactly what I want to avoid. I know there are a lot of people that I've talked to who just give up because they don't want to, they don't feel like they can go through quote unquote all the steps, or I don't know that I can figure it out. So we're going to debunk that. We are debunking it, rather. All right. Almost there. And if you know any of this, just feel free to fast forward through whatever part of this video you don't need. You can click off of these two markers right there. It's just a warning. It tells you that you can click around with a mouse and so forth. So this is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, just because we're recording it, which uses space. Okay. Now we're having a little bit of trouble booting it up at the same time, so I'm gonna Alright, here we go. Now, glad we got through that. Of course, you're not going to be recording video whenever you are booting up your SAS University Edition. So it says right here, really important, it says you can connect to your SAS University Edition software by entering this address into your browser. Now, how do you do that? That was a sticking point for many folks as we come into this type of work. So you want to go into your applications and find your web browser. And I'm on a Mac, of course, but it doesn't matter what machine you're on. You're going to install SAS University the exact same way. And mine is saved, so click on localhost. Okay. And it takes you to the software that's housed within your virtual machine, and you want to start SAS Studio. Big red button. Seems pretty obvious. That's the one that you click. If there are any updates, you'll be able to see it, but I don't have any updates that I need. All right. And again, this is faster on your machine when you're not recording video. So, it will sign you in. In the subsequent videos, we'll already have SAS University loaded, and we'll just walk you through the code. All right, here we go. All right, so now the earlier, and I'm going to minimize here. Earlier, I told you to create this folder called SAS University Edition. Now, and populate it with certain other folders. You'll see right here within is My Folders. That is your subfolder that you should create and put everything into. Now, when you're creating the SAS University folder, you want to create SAS University and do a lowercase My Folders right here. And you can see all the subfolders that I've put in. That's where you put all your information. Now, why is that the case? Because SAS University reads from a directory called My Folders, which I've highlighted. When you go in to start, you want to drop down and then go to whatever the folder name was where you put the information. Okay, and then you can see your coding. And we're going to click on Part 1 as a prelude here. It's going to take a second to load. All right, and then to get set up and make sure SAS knows which data set you're referencing, you will highlight this section right here, the lib name. This is the library name project, okay? And to make a library called project, we're going to call the folders, which folders is the default name for your storage system here on the left-hand bar. My folders, you can see, and then you can see project. And I click on this and run it, and it should say live name assigned successfully. Okay, it'll run for a second. And what you get is in your log, it'll say live name, libref project was assigned successfully, engine V9, so forth. So then it gives the physical name. Now, this is how you set your live name up. And when you go to libraries, if you want to reference a data set, libraries, my libraries, project, and we can see that it put analysis there. It made the analysis data set within the system. And all you do from there for this project is you run these codes. So one at a time, as I'll instruct you in the next couple of videos. So that is how you set up SAS University on your machine. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do come to the discussion boards, and the Extra staff and I are more than willing to help. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing you excel on the forthcoming student guided project and in your careers and so forth. So, thank you so very much, and have a great rest of your day.